And then next up we have Mr. Mime. So Mr. Mime, because I feel like oh my fucking god, bro. Mr. Mime was a legendary. I kid you fucking not. This Pokemon was a legendary.
I'm gonna let you go rant. You can go
I'll rant for a little bit.
You can go rant.
He was pretty mediocre in the beginning. Then he got a buff with Psychic and Power Swap, and I believe Confusion got a buff too. Then this man, this Mr. Mime did like about 80k damage a game and could do about like maybe at minimum 60k healing with the Power Swap. And oh my god, shortly after that buff, we slowly got Mr. Mime nerfs. And then I thought, okay, Mr. Mime nerf, we can still make this work. Made it work. Then it got nerfed again. Okay, still can make it work. Then it got nerfed the third time. I didn't really pay attention to what the fuck the third nerf was, but it just like, it might as well just be in the hospital in a wheelchair, like paralyzed, literally from neck down. Actually, it doesn't do anything. I can't. Mr. Mime mains, you gotta tell me your way. If you're still doing 60k damage, hit me up in the comments down below, please. But with that being said, here's your moves at level 4. You got Confusion and Psychic. Confusion basically pushes back enemies. Psychic essentially is the closer you are to your enemy, after a certain amount of time, it'll pop off, and then the opponent that is in that radius gets stunned. It's a small radius, but you know, it's pretty good. Level 6, you get Barrier and Power Swap. Power Swap, you link it up to your opponent, and it lowers their attack just a little bit. If you link it up to your ally, you're essentially just healing them and yourself up. And then Barrier essentially is just like building a wall, like enemies can't go through it unless they have a dash, pretty much. And you can also stun them too if you hit them at the sweet spot. Like literally, like imagine just like cutting through a Cinderace's body. Like that's how close it's gotta be in that sense. And last up is Dance Dance Revolution, otherwise known as Shown Time. It's Unite move. Like literally, that's literally what Mr. Mime is. You hop, you can do one jump over to an enemy, and then you just start dancing on their graves and teabagging. Like literally, like do Fortnite dances, whatever the fuck you people do. You stun them basically. It's not a lot of damage, really. It lowers their movement speed and then it stuns them for a little bit, but it's not like this Unite move actually was the one that got crippled the most, if I recall correctly. But that's Mr. Mime, I guess.
Yeah. Forget the season where Mr. Mime was absolutely dominant. And
Mr. Mime T-Tar, bro, that was scary.
That was a scary duo. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And that was that T-Tar's release as well?
I think it was like about maybe like a month and a half after, because that's when Mr. Mime got buffs.
Yeah, and this was the new map starting up too. This is like first month of the new map and how the new seasons were going through too.
Yeah, I was on vacation when that happened.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember, yeah.
I was crying when I saw Mr. MT. I was like, oh no, we're fucking losing. And I was like, oh wait, we stole the objective? Ha! Because this game only cares about fucking Rayquaza, apparently.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Mime did just get shot everywhere. And like it got more than shot in the ankle. It got shot for headshot for arms, legs, you name it. Every ligament. It's unfortunately fallen off too far, in our opinions.
Hashtag like, buff Mr. Mime, please.
Yeah,
a little bit.
We could use some buffs for Mr. Mime, honestly. Like, as much as it's still annoying to deal with Barrier, like, you can still put like 3 barriers around the goal and just cock block. But at the same time, like, it's not as effective anymore. Like, let's be real here. You could just use the freaking eject button and go do that bitch. But besides that, Mr. Mime's just not that good anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even, like, as much as I can say that this is probably a better Sableye, like in terms of moveset wise, and maybe even a better Wigglytuff with the whole healing scenario, and you get the you still get CC, you still get healing. I think you get shields. I could be wrong. Do you only get the shield on your night move, or do you not even get a shield on your night move?
You don't get a shield on anything. Like,
okay, never mind then. So it's probably in the same, like, moveset wise, it's in the same tier as Wigglytuff. At least for me, but overall in general, if we put in stats and we put in like outputs, like how we see the matches, this thing is in the grade. This is probably gonna be like our first, like, what is it? F tier. Yeah. This is our first F tier unit. Damn.
Sad days, bro. Sad Mr. Mime days. moveset though, if you want to mix them up, you want confusion and you want barrier. You push them into the wall and then they get stunned. That's really nice. And then you got psychic and then power swap. If you want to use power swap first, then use psychic, because then you perform 2 psychics to do double the damage. But you know, of course, as we've shown and talked about, double the damage on Mr. Mime now is just not there. Items, if you want to try to go in for damage, choice specs, wise glasses, put all the glasses. Do your best. Forget about focus band. Like, do your best to try to get as much stacks in as all 6 of your stacks in with this mod, but just don't play it anymore. It's not good. It does have a good early game, I will not lie. The first 3 minutes is like probably the only time it's good. Once that first objective spawns in, you're done. It's done. Like, hang it up, chief. You're just gonna be blocking.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets overshadowed by a lot. Like, I'd say it's like in the range. Like, it's obviously like Snorlax in a way. It has a great early game, just falls off later in the match, unfortunately. That's how I see it.
And then we can talk about after talking about the worst unit in the game, let's talk about an okay unit in the game. So next up we have Comfy. So Comfy essentially's whole spiel is that I get to hop into you for free and we work as a team, quote unquote, because that's not a real thing in this game. We work as a team. I heal you and you attack. Get to work, peasant. So your movesets are Floral Healing versus Sweet Kiss. These are the moves that activate which Pokemon you'll go into. You kind of got like aim into, like, say Lucario if you're on the outside, for example, or like aim into any allies that you got. I don't know why I said Lucario, but any ally works. Floral Healing is basically, think of it like a potion, but like kind of worse. But it scales over time, so it gets a little bit better. Next up, you have Sweet Kiss, which you hop in there and then like you hold in a fart, and then as the longer you hold it, the bigger the radius, and who's ever in that radius gets stunned. Yeah, that's great, but you know, you're not healing, so why the fuck are you playing Comfy? Magical Leaf, you use the Magical Leaf and you shoot out a bunch of little petals, like pew 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 pew. Once the enemy target has max petals, they are stunned for a little bit. This and Umbreon is so disgusting. I know Umbreon recently got nerfed and I haven't played it since, but I'm gonna play this again with Comfy if possible. And if the stun is still too much, we gotta nerf Umbreon again, I think, because like I swear it was hilarious. It was foul play, snarl, foul play, have the Comfy set up some like magical leaves. That's literally what you do, and it's like 4 seconds of stun in slow motion. And then you oh man, I forgot about Grass Knot. Grass Knot, you just basically like you shoot forward, any enemy that's like trapped within that grass knot kind of gets stunned for a little bit or like immobilized. Pretty okay, but like Magic Leaf is better because Magic Leaf has like a big fucking radius.
Yeah.
In the end, so like, you know, really the only moveset I find that is good on Comfy is just Floral Healing and Magic Leaf, because at least you're doing healing and stunning. And then when you get your Unite move, you make like a little patch of grass. You literally touch grass again. If you use Floral Healing with when you're inside of your ally, the healing is, I believe, increased by 50%, if I'm not mistaken. It basically does more healing, essentially. Think of it like that. With Sweet Kiss, I have no idea about the Sweet Kiss, like, and the alt. I guess just don't fucking run it, because you're not fucking healing and you're a support and you're basically, I have no idea who the fuck runs Sweet Kiss. It's good in some situations, but it's not as good as Floral Healing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I have yet to buy Comfy. If you know me well, you know I'm against Comfy 110%. It's the worst thing in this. It's like, for me, like the bane of my existence.
Unhealthy. This Pokemon is very unhealthy on its first buff. On its first buff, not its release. Its first buff, because I remember it's kind of shit when it first got released.
Yeah, I know. What's it called? Like, when the whole leaks came out, I feared my life against this thing. This was literally the mon I feared the most. I still do fear it because of how much it heals. Like, I didn't care at all if it was gonna be like underplayed or like under healing. I just know the second this thing gets a good buff, society is screwed for this game. And what happened? The emergency patch happened for Comfy. 50% healing all across the board. This thing's basically Jesus Christ at this game.
And then they nerfed it again, but just by a little bit. It's They really nerfed that. Actually, no, they nerfed it a lot on that healing. No, they nerfed that healing actually a lot, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember the floor healing before and then was not as much. I kind of feel as though it's good, but it's balanced now. I just feel like Magic Leaf is the pain of my existence in the end. Like, not so much floor healing, because they nerfed it pretty well, the floor healing. It's not too much healing, even in the patch of grass that on the Unite move.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a B tier mon. Reason, and I can give a few reasons why it's a B tier mon. It's because like you're relying on your teammate. So if you're not in VC with your teammate, well, hey man, it is what it is, you know?
It really is.
Like, you just both die. Have a nice day. Items, I guess you can run choice specs. You definitely kind of want to run the XP share on this mon, like 100%, since you're not doing any damage. You're relying 100% on your teammate. Choice specs, pickups, or is it choice specs though? Yeah, that's a stacking one. Yeah. So try to pick up special attack specs. So if you see any like AOS energy, try to like plop it in there if you can. Get 6 stacks, increase your floor healing HP. It's not really damage, but you know, the healing overall. And last move, either wise glasses or, you know, rescue hoodie. I actually saw more wise glasses than I saw rescue hoodies from my personal experience when playing Comfy. Actually, bro, like around after the first nerf, I believe, the first and only nerf, I think is when I noticed it,
which was pretty recent too. Yeah, I would like to chime in and just say, Comfy is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can make an argument for being A tier, but honestly, right now it's good to be in B tier, because the biggest downfall about this is that it does make the game a 4v5 or a 4v4, depending on what you run it, depending on the opposite team comp, because once you, like, if your teammate dies on you, like while you're inside, you're just not doing anything. You're really just like sitting there for a second, just watching your ops lay it down on you.
Literally, just I could probably just go to the kitchen playing as Comfy, get a cup of water, and then come back and just say, "Oh, we did nothing. Congrats." Because you can just you just mash fucking buttons when you're playing Comfy. It's
exactly.
You don't do fucking shit. It's no skill, but at the same time, it's like...
Yeah, it kind of is a brain dead unit when you think about it, but that's what makes it kind of good, I guess. But that's the problem. It does... Like, thankfully it's a brain dead unit when it comes to healing, but it just can't hold its own in terms of anything, like in terms of like survivability, durability, and all that sort of stuff. Because if it did, then I'd say we'd have like a monster in our hands, basically.
And then next up is I guess Hoopa. Hoopa's up next. Hoopa is actually one of those interesting units, to be honest.
Should we leave Hooper for last, because I feel like that's a whole bag. That's like opening a bag of can of worms.
A whole oh okay, yeah, a whole Hoopa Unbounded, if you might.
Yeah, because quite literally Hoopa Unbounded is going to be another story.
Okay, so
we'll do Blissey first.
All right, so we'll do Blissey. So basically, you have Egg Bomb and you have versus Helping Hand. Egg Bomb, think of it kind of like the Decidueye Spirit Shackles, but they charge up a little bit faster. You can hold up to I believe 3 in the beginning, and then I believe 6 once you get your upgrade move, or when you evolve, if it's one of those 2 lines. Basically, you throw an egg. It's got a small radius, but you plop it over, chuck it over, I guess you could say, at an enemy, and they basically get stunned and flop into the air for a little bit. It's pretty good. And then you have Helping Hand, which anyone who's in your radius, good size radius by the way, gets movement speed increase, and I believe their attacks are boosted. Blissey's attacks are boosted, as well as the allies' attacks are boosted as well, which is really good. And then at level oh no, it's not level 4. Wait a minute, which one was first? Okay, actually Soft Boiled is first, my bad.
Soft Boiled and Safeguard. Yeah,
I got mixed up because the website is kind of wonky looking. But level Egg Bomb and Helping Hand are level 6. Soft Boil and Safeguard are level 4. Safeguard is basically a shield that gives you, I believe, unstoppable or hindrance resistance. It's one of the 2. And essentially what that means is you can't get stunned, you can't get united by a slow. Oh no, you actually can get united by a slow, bro. Correct me if I'm correct me if I'm wrong.
You still can.
Oh, you still can? Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so never mind.
Let me ask you this. What can't Slow not unite?
I think a Talonflame that's in the air, that's it. Because like it can't hit. That's literally
it. Fly, yeah.
I
Anything else is going to hit.
Like, yeah, you better fly at that right moment. And then you have softball, which if you aim it at your ally, you heal them as well as yourself just a little bit, and it's really nice and good healing overall. It also works like spirit shackle, so the softball and the egg bomb are synced up. So if you have 3 eggs, you can either do like 1 egg bomb, 2 soft boils, or like 2 soft boils and 1 egg bomb. The combinations of possibilities are endless, but like just keep in mind that they are synced up with each other, so whenever you use one move, it goes down by 1 for both. And you gotta like preserve them as best as you can and know when to use them. Helping Hand and Safeguard are very nice. They pair up well with each other. They don't really require like anything like with your cooldown, or I mean not your cooldown, your like egg usage moves, I guess you could say. I think I went over Safeguard was just basically a small shield and like hindrance resistance. That's really it. It seems kind of short to talk about. I'm not gonna lie, actually.
I will say this right now. Do not mix these moves. Do not mix up the move sets, because yes, they're both like, trust me, don't get me wrong, all 4 of these moves are good. But the thing is, if you mix soft boiled or egg bomb with the other one, you only get a maximum of 2 charges. Or like throughout the whole game. Throughout the whole game you will only get a maximum of 2 charges. That is not good in comparison to the maximum you can have of 5 charges when you pair it up with soft boiled. Like, and vice versa as well. Like if you take soft boiled, you only get 2 charges. If you pair it up with anything else, if it's not with egg bomb, you only get 2 charges. If it's with egg bomb, you get 5 charges. So please do not mix this up. As much as like I love Blissy's movesets, Blissy's moveset is definitely like one of the better ones in this game when it comes to supports. You get this, it's what you'd want Wigglytuff to be. The only problem is you don't get the offensive support, offensive CC where you get the stuns and stuff. I mean, you can do what egg bomb, but that's about it. But it's not as long as comparison to Wigglytuff CC. It's what Wigglytuff would have wanted, minus having its offensive CC. That's about it. It's great bulk, well, minus the physical bulk, which let's not get into. But besides that, it's honestly still pretty fantastic of a unit. I love using this mon whenever I can. It's very situational for some moves, because Safeguard, Helping Hand, obviously a great move set. You can never go wrong with shields. You can never go wrong with movement speed, attack damage. Egg bomb, soft boiled, fantastic healing, 5 charges, low cooldowns as well. It does benefit off cooldown emblems if you go 7 black. The charge rate is significantly faster. I believe it's like a second, maybe like 1.4 seconds per charge. So you can't really lose here. And it's Unite move also great, although I have still yet to figure out what the eggs it does when it surrounds you.
It's just kind of like a symbol. So basically, your attack and special attack for the ally is increased, and apparently Blissey acts like a sponge, because the damage it takes from the enemies is like 50% to it and 50% to the one it used the egg on. So they split.
You know what? That's amazing.
They share the damage. It's actually a really good Unite move, to be honest. And imagine you're just like charging into them as well. So I guess save your Unite move for like, in all honesty, save it for like an all-arounder if you have it on your team, because they're bulky enough and they do like good damage, I would say. Yeah. Attackers are cool, but
she's not greeted. Sorry, no, not a greeted for a Gudra. That's what I meant to say. Not greeted.
A Gudra's good too, because they're both tanky. Like it's
if you get a Blissey charging towards like Gudra and it uses like what's its Unite move called? What's Gudra's Unite move called again?
I forgot. I just know it heals you like for like when you use it.
Get increased damage. Yeah, like team those two up. My goodness, you have a pretty good that's a pretty good 1-2 combo for tankiness right there. But yeah, where did we put Blissey again?
I feel like Blissey should be one of those A tier mons, to be honest.
It feels A tier. It definitely does feel A tier. Like, it's hard to make an argument to go lower, because it's better than Comfy. It makes the game a 5v5.
I find that actually like Blissey and Clefable are both have really good healing. They like, it's really good healing. But I only put Eldegoss on top because I find it's a little bit easier to use. And with these two mons, like, you kind of need to like be really close to your teammates. Like, I mean, that is every supporter in it again. But I don't know. It's like, they're so good, and they could actually beat Eldegoss, but it all comes down to the user and the practice that you have with it. So like these three can be flipped at any point in time during like any updates, any like skills, or in your opinion, however it works. To all the viewers out there.
It's actually very good. Yeah, those three, like you could have like Eldegoss A tier, Blissey, or Clefable in S tier. I can't get mad at you at all for saying that, because like, one, you're entitled to your own opinion, but if you say Mr.Mime's S tier, then your opinion's wrong.
Your opinion's so wrong, bro. Unless you have a 100K screenshot that happened like as of the recording of this video on 7/26/2023. Unless you actually have like a picture of that, you have no right to talk.
Yep. Yeah. These three are very interchangeable because all three of them give you the best benefit of the doubt. Like, they give you what a support needs to give out to a team. Like, what more could you really ask for? Let's be honest here. What more could you really ask for? If you're asking for any more, you're just being greedy.
Exactly.
Besides that, like, these three are good. Like, these three are great supports. Pretty much like idolize what supports are meant to be.
And that'll bring us to our last. Oh, did we go over items for Blissey? I don't think so. I guess you could say Aeos Cookie XP share, some focus band in there.
Buddy Bear is also very good.
Buddy Bear is also good, and I think those are like the top 4, I would probably say.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have Hoopa. So Hoopa's passive.
Okay.
We'll talk about. Well, there's a lot of things to talk about with Hoopa. It's kind of interesting actually. So first up, we have its ability Magician. So basically, it just steals berries or Aeos energy amongst the field. The early game is kind of annoying because you could lose a citrus berry that you desperately need, and now there's only one you gotta share with your teammate, and there's no such thing as sharing in Unite, even with your team. And then you have Phantom Force. You basically hop out of a hole, you push people back essentially, and then you could like kind of come back. They give it kind of like actually like U-turn. You hit your opponent and then you just return back to your party in a sense. I would say that's the best way to look at it. Shadow Ball, you just basically, once you hit your opponent, you kind of like lower their movement speed a little bit, as well as lower their special defense by like 30%. Pretty okay. I mean, nothing more to it. Then you have Hyperspace Hole. So think of it like this: you just plop a hole somewhere on the stage, and there's like a little clock above. Once the clock hits midnight, we're gonna call it, you get sent back to your base, and you can basically just think of it way as like healing up in your home base. You know, it's kind of like
it's like a recall.
It's like a rabbit hole. Yeah, recall, rabbit hole. Like, you know, both really good in my opinion. I like that move a lot. I actually like this move more than I like Trick, to be honest.
No, I don't blame you, because that's like amazing mobility. And not only that, it's not just when you put it on, like, you can put it anywhere on the ground, but if you put it like on base to base, so like on goalpost to goalpost, sorry, like you can go from one goalpost from the other. So say if you're like on the bottom lane, you put it on your bottom lane goalpost, it sends you up to top lane instead. So you don't have to travel through the middle and hope that you don't have to worry that you run into the opponents. You can just go straight to the top base, top lane, and help them with their objective. Bada bing, bada boom.
Exactly, but
good.
Please pray to God that your team is watching you, and go for the bot lane first. I beg you, please. If you're playing Hoopa, or at least try to get your teammates down there ASAP. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Trick is like you basically give your ally a shield, and there's like a little ring on top. And when you use a move like Shadow Ball, it actually shoots out 2 Shadow Balls, one from where the ally is and one from where you are, essentially. That's pretty much it in like a small.
I think
small term.
You could consider it being like Is it? No, actually, I was gonna say like double hit, but what's the best way to really describe it? I'm not sure if we have them.
I feel like well, we don't have double hit in this game. We have double slap, but double hit is definitely like a good main series thing to use. Comparison, yeah. And there's nothing else there actually. Or we can think of it kind of like, I guess, jump kick, because jump kick actually has 2 actions to it on Dove Trio.
No, you're right.
Like, think of it like that. And then lastly is your Unite move, and God, there's a lot of crazy stuff with this Unite move. So if you haven't figured out already, Hoopa is just basically a transporter. So whenever it uses its Unite move, it gets into its unbounded form, gets defense buffs, as well as summons a big fucking ring where your whole teammate can spawn from. Its moveset changes now from whatever moveset you have. It now changes to Psybeam and Hyperspace Fury for the duration of your ult. So Hyperspace Fury basically shoots out what I like to call like a nice bouncy yellow ball, like boing 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 boing, and it just stuns the fucking teammates. Like literally, that's what it is, and it's so fucking annoying. Then you got
not a fist.
It's like a ball. Is it a fist? I thought it was a ball.
It's a fist.
Dude, it's so fast. It looks like a fucking yellow, like a dodgeball. Like I kid you not. I thought it was a dodgeball because the noise it makes in like boing 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 boing. Like that does not sound like a fist. You want to know what the fist sounds like? Watch one of those like action movies, and then you know what a fist sounds like.
You have to keep in mind though, this is a kid's game.
Exactly. So it's a dodgeball. See? It's a dodgeball. I don't care what people say. It's a dodgeball.
That noise was just the best thing ever from this recording.
That's literally it's like boing 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 boing. Like literally, that's all I hear. And Psybeam is. What the fuck is Psybeam?
I'm sorry. Every time I hear that, I just think of Kung Fu Panda when he's just fighting.
Oh my god! I think I know what you're talking about. He just sits on the fucking tiger or whatever. I forgot. Exactly. That's. Oh my god.
In Kung Fu Panda 2, when the guy's just fighting the tiger off, and he's just getting comboed. That's all I can just hear.
Yeah, if I look into video editing, I want to see if I can clip that from some YouTube and just like plop it on there. If I can, I will try to make that a possibility. I'll look into it. And then you have Psybeam, which is just sweeps horizontally and does damage, and that's really it. You become immune to hindrance resistance when using it. It's like pretty short though. That's literally all the move says. It's just with this unit, it's good.
It's definitely good, 100%. Like, there's no way you can go wrong with this unit.
However, there have been people who just do fuck this up. I guess a few ways you should use this move is like if you have it and your whole team's like God knows where, but you're at the objective and the enemy team isn't, or they're doing it. Put up a really good gank, summon it, do the whole boing 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 boing. And then have your whole team just like clean up shop, and then you can get the objective. You can do that with
Hyperspace Fury does stun as well, so you can combo that into Sideways or Psybeam as well. So that makes it a really good like 1-2 punch alongside whatever your teammates do.
Yeah, and then you want to use it for like Rayquaza fight too. Save it as much as you can. And then just like if the enemy team is coming toward you, then pop it off. If you're the enemy team, however, one thing I would say is the second you see that big fucking ring in the sky, back the fuck up. Luckily, the good news about Hoopa is that it's really slow when it's in unbounded form, thankfully. So it gives you enough time to like back up so you're not in range of the whole like attacks. And the enemy team where they're probably gonna like gank you, just wait till it ends and then you're good to go. In my opinion and personal experience. Except I got fucking teammates that decided to go head first and die to Hoopa only. So
yeah, it's also a good way to like get your teammates involved immediately after like if most of them died. So like say you're like the last one remaining, but they're about to come after their kill cooldown. Like you could just plop it up, so by the time they're like 4 seconds left after thing, they can just go through the hyperspace hole. They'll be at the center, no problem, before the unite ends. So it's a very good way to like get a last minute clutch up if needed, and that way you can just like steal the objective and score on their base or make your last minute comeback.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like meant to do as well. That's like the other thing. And then on the final settlement, B tier, actually, I was you know what?
Yeah,
when
me and Raging talked about this like before recording this. We were like debating this heavily because like, you know what I said at the start of the video saying like we're gonna try and put this into like solo queue, but also make sure that's like fairly even with duo, trio, and 5 stacks. This is exactly who we were talking about, because Hoopa's like the main debate of this whole thing.
Yeah, I think actually Hoopa might be better than Comfy, but not better than Blissey and Wigglytuff. I mean not Wigglytuff, Blissey and Clefable. I think it's better than Comfy.
Yeah, because if you put it into 5 stacks, like if you put it in like a team comp, like 5 stacks and all that, this thing's automatically like A, maybe even S. I'm not even willing to argue it. But if you put it in solo queue, it becomes a whole different topic. I'm sorry.
Relying on your teammates, relying on when you specifically use your Hoopa ult, and all factors like that come into play. But it is, I guess, better than Wigglytuff because at least you do damage when you're in this form, and you also can just send your allies back to start and heal them up, and then they can come back ready for another fight with the hyperspace hole. So like its healing might actually just be better than Comfy if you get all your teammates there. That's the thing, but it's still not really A tier worthy.
Yeah,
it's like teammate healing versus solo healing, essentially.
And plus, you don't give that many shields out. You can only give like one shield in comparison to like multiple shields. Yeah,
and that's pretty much gonna wrap up all the supporters. Honestly, you know how this took like an hour, pretty much an hour of recording. I did not expect that, but it was also it's also a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'll admit I did expect it to take a while, especially because I knew Hooper was gonna be like a bag of words. Considering like we know like Hooper was like one of the ones I feared for. That's why I wanted to keep it last. But honestly, everything else, like if we're being descriptive, yeah, it made sense that I guess it kind of adds up, but maybe we took a bit too long with some others, especially with Sableye.
Dude, fuck these goal getter players, bro. Actually, respectfully, please just run X speed instead or X attack. I'll take that.
Yeah, I think next time, are we doing attackers? Or are we waiting for?
That's a very good question. Seeing as how like we got like
have to wait for Mewtwo Y to come out, and Mewtwo Y is an attacker.
Oh, you mean Mewtwo? Wait, hold up. You mean like they didn't come out together? They didn't come out together?
No.
Oh my god, I'm a little scared to be honest. But I heard Mewtwo Y is worse than X, so.
Oh really?
At least people were saying that, like when looking at the news, they were like thinking, "Oh, X is gonna be the better one," and they said X is better than Y. I was like, "Ooh, okay, interesting." This felt very diverse with our supporters, to be honest.
I think, because I mean we have one in F tier, so
yeah, that's our first F tier. Congratulations, Mr.Mime. We love you.
Yeah, I think all rounders are gonna be set for last because of Blaziken and Mewtwo X. Wait till we get a few like whenever it changes over. But I think we could do it. I think we're safe to do attackers. Or because Blaziken releases September, so unless we decide to hold off, we could do all rounders next. But though,
we can. What we'll do is we'll probably just like we can hold the series off for now until like I guess Blaziken or Mewtwo Y comes. We can do attackers next, I guess.
Yeah.
Since Mewtwo Y is gonna show up soon, so we can then do that, and then afterwards we can do all the all-arounders because that's also a lot to talk about too, since it's how we have like attackers take up about 43% of the roster as well. But you know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
the good
we talk about, especially with a few of these mans.
The like, good, the bad, and the ugly. You know?
Yeah, Mew, that's a bag full of tricks. And Teleon, I guarantee you that's probably gonna get something sooner or later again. Glaceon, that's fuck me.
But
yeah,
that's pretty much it for this video. So hopefully you'll have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and or night, wherever you are, wherever it may be, and we will see you all in the next one. Later.
Cheerio.